Hello. Fajna, duszmy. Wyłącz, wyłącz. Just that. Okay, hello. Croeso i'r stream. Eto. Double dose i nhw. Nath neb gwachio fi stream gynta, so neb yn gwachio fi stream yma. Dwi eisiau cael ymlaen chwarae Brwgso. Enjoy. No, sbio, pam di sbio fyna? Fyna mae chat fi. Anyway. Bod dim yn iawn. Absolute class. Lle oedden ni? O ie, da ni'n Iwerddon. Recap. Da ni efo'r priceless jewel ma, da ni'n randomly dangos.
It was a large blue gemstone.
Okay. Go.
Hi.
Go.
It's me again.
So I see. What now?
Did you happen to see a red sports car down on the road?
I caught a glimpse of a flash of red on the hill and heard the racket. Sure, it was an awful noise. A sports car, you say?
A Ferrari, to be exact.
A racing car? And what was it doing here? The poor fella must have been lost.
The driver of the Ferrari was involved in an accident.
Is that so?
Yeah, he knocked somebody down outside the bar.
What an idiot! How could a thing like that happen?
He was traveling too fast.
So fast, he ran right under the car?
I mean, the car was traveling too fast.
But you'd have thought the idiot could have heard it coming.
Maybe you know the guy who was hit by the Ferrari. His name is Sean Fitzgerald.
Oh, I know him all right. That's me nephew, the idiot responsible for the stacking of my hay cart. Was he killed by the car?
Oh no, but he has been abducted.
Well, that's a relief now.
What?
Aren't you going to look for your nephew?
What for? From what you say, it's too late.
Well, you could report the matter to the police.
Better not. Besides, what could they do?
Well, they could mount a search.
They have only the one bicycle between them. In a question of superior acceleration, I put me money on the Ferrari.
I think you ought to know exactly what Sean has gotten himself into.
I'm not sure I want to know.
But you're his uncle, his own flesh and blood.
You're right, but what can I do? If I'm not here to guard it, some idiot might try to climb the haystack. What a moral dilemma. Stay here and guard this potentially lethal agricultural construction, or to go off in search of the prodigal nephew, the very man responsible for said hazard? It'll need some thinking about.
Why, there's no problem.
You're right. Why didn't I think of it before? We'll demolish the haystack.
You don't have to demolish the haystack to go look for Sean. I'll stay here in your place and warn anyone who's silly enough to climb it.
Marvelous! I think I should start me inquiries in the bar.
You know what?
He strode off in the direction of McDevitt's bar,
Let's go.
leaving me to contemplate the stack of hay.
Climb up. Yes! Castle time. Oh my god, really.
The stack of hay stopped, short of the top of the wall. Even if I stretched as far as I could, the wall was out of reach. What I needed was a slice or two of Alice's Wonderland.
What?
I pushed my fingers into the narrow crack. It went back several inches into the rock.
Yes!
I inserted the end of the lifting key in the mortarless crack and gave it a firm shove. It remained lodged in the wall, jutting out to form a step.
Okay, let's go then.
I tugged at the lifting key and found it was held quite securely.
Okay, let's go. Yes! Trespassing, let's go. Ja, mae hwn yn bit really famous o'r gêm. Dwi eisiau Google a dwi'n cofio mae hwn yn un... Mae hwn yn fucking annoying. Safio. Sef. Dwi'n cofyn iawn, mae rhywbeth i wneud efo... Dwi'n mynd un ochr wedyn i'r llall. Waw.
It was the fiercest, meanest-looking old goat I'd ever laid eyes upon.
Oh, yeah, hynna ddo.
The rope by which the goat was tethered
another.
had become tangled on the old plowshare.
Myth, the legend, goat.
Hey, Billy. The animal fixed on me with an evil glare. Behind the malice and resentment, there was a cool intelligence. How you doing, boy? I felt as threatened as I'd been by the assassin and his goons in Paris.
Let's go. Look at that early, look at mid-90s FMV.
The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand. I placed my fingers and thumb into the holes in the wall. Nothing happened.
Hwn o rhywbeth i wneud efo'r...
I tried in vain to move the panel. As I dipped my fingers into the soft white powder, I realized what it was. Plaster of Paris. I'd used it in kindergarten to make casts of animal paw prints.
Okay, should we earn...
The only object on the table which interested me was a small sack. As I swung the stone upright, I placed my fingers in the 5 impressions left by the fallen stone. It was weird. They fit perfectly.
Okay.
I placed my fingers and the statue was too heavy to lift. It over...
Okay, so...
I swung the stone back to its original position.
Battle...
I sprinkled the plaster on the sand until the holes were filled. I squeezed the towel as hard as I could, but it was barely damp.
We gaan er nôl. Dwi'n mynd o'r faucet yn... So ni'n sôn, sgynna. Ie, dwi'n cofio hwn o'r pan eisiau chwarae o to gynta. Eisiau chwarae hwn am o to gynta yn y flwyddyn 2000? Ie, 2000? Allan 96. Ti fanna wan. I must have found it, stop it. Wedyn dwi'n... I hwnna.
The slow drip of water.
Os oes on ta.
The faucet creaked, caulked. I held the towel under...
Let's go! O, mae reit handi. Dim bris na mi, just. Dim bris at all. Siwr na bit wyrdd yma oedd yr demo. Oedd y demos back in the day. Oedd hwn allan ar y PS1 hefyd. GBA version dy byth yn sychu ond mae yn sychu'n hwn so dwi'n gweithio gyda fi mynd go fast wan so gwneud hynna de hynna
The trickle of water was quickly absorbed by the plaster.
Plaster in it.
I eased the solid piece of plaster from the sand. Underneath, it had formed a perfect copy of the statue. The hardened plaster cast fitted snugly into the 5 matching sockets. There was a soft thud, then silence.
No. Yes! Torch dwi'n gynna. What the hell?
So, where did you stay last night?
At McDevitt's. I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Come here.
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Did he snore?
Hardly. He was dead. Then Leary woke me in the middle of the night to help bail out the cellar.
The cellar was flooded?
Yeah, some idiot had left the faucet running.
And you say Pegram has disappeared?
Beer.
Without a trace.
Smooth off another.
But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Pigram's gem?
The Templars gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
I've been reading about Pigram in this magazine.
Okay, whatever.
The media got its claws on him.
Yeah, if I was his agent, I'd get him to lose the pipe.
That dig must have been pretty important to him. He resigned his chair at Durham University to go to Ireland. And now he's disappeared.
Mae'r gem yma fan'na. Mae'r gem gyda fi iddo.
See what you can find out about Professor Pegram.
I'll speak to the university. What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man. Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Hanged man in the manuscript.
That's the tripod in the Croon Museum. That's the gem that Pegram found in Lochmarn.
Yeah.
There's a woman, but the reflection... There's a guy with a sword and a between them is a gem. The Night Scroll bears a... Through my teachings... What do you know about Professor Pegram?
I've seen a television program, Pigram's Past. He's written a book, The Crusader Families of Ireland.
Look, Nico,
Yeah. Why is it that men never really grow up?
what's your problem, sister?
Oh.
Your pockets stuffed with useless junk like little boys.
You never know when useless junk might come in handy. Do you want to look after the gem?
No, George. I'd be too tempted to sell it.
I can't sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lobino at the Kroon Museum. And why don't you see if Rosso has heard anything?
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out? Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Oof.
Just take care of yourself.
Let's go, George. Let's solve this murder. Okay, let's go. Right. Ooh, Tino.
Excuse me?
Ah, Monsieur Stobart, n'est-ce pas?
That's correct. You remember me.
The retention of such data is part of my duty as a gendarme. That is how crime is fought, through attention to detail, not intuition.
Yes, sure. Have you heard of a man called Marquet?
Yes. He used to be known as the Mole of Montmartre. I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of his rivals.
What?
Which hospital was Marquet taken to?
The Hagenmeyer Clinic, in the Avenue des Hérissons.
Okay.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole of Montmartre?
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
Yeah, but why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he ruined people's lawns.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur? Where is the victim?
I'm the victim. I've been harassed by a pair of thugs.
I see. And where did this alleged assault take place?
Outside the Hotel Ubu. They stopped me as I was leaving and went through my pockets.
Could you describe the suspects, monsieur?
One looked like a gorilla, and the other looked like a weasel. Their names are Flap and Guido.
Bon. I'll get them this time.
What are you going to do about Flap and Guido, Sergeant?
I'm going to bust them, monsieur, For years I have been hoping to pin something on that pair. Now is my chance. I'll show them. And the inspector.
Thanks, Sergeant. Thanks for taking me seriously.
I'm only doing my duty, monsieur.
Do you know a man named Khan? He's a shifty-looking guy with a scar on his left cheek.
No, monsieur. Has this man any connection with the bombing of the cafe?
Yes. I believe Khan was the name he used when he hired the clown costume. Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
One moment, monsieur.
I've been pretending to be him in Ireland.
Stobart is here to see you, monsieur.
Did he say what it was about?
No, monsieur.
Very well.
Hi, Inspector. Remember me?
But of course, Mr. Stobart. My mind is a well-ordered faculty. A mental classification system that's the envy of the Bibliothèque Nationale. No tricks, mark you, monsieur. Just exercise. Just as our muscles waste through inactivity, so our minds decay.
Oh my God,
But there is no need. If only people would learn to exercise their wits daily.
If he was trying to impress me, it worked. He was
Ew.
pompous and patronizing, but he had style.
Eh bien, if you called about the bombing, you're too late. Investigations have been closed.
What?
But I've been taken off the case.
What about the murderer, the dead guy?
It is out of my hands.
What was that psycho-detective business you did in the cafe?
It is my theory that the passions evoked in violent crimes create ripples in the ether. Invisible to all but the possessor of a highly developed
What?
and receptive mind.
I'm impressed. Can you bend spoons, too?
I didn't think a man of your obvious intelligence would stoop to mockery.
I'm not mocking. I've had personal experience of the power of the mind. I used to get ignored at parties until I read a book that changed my life.
Really? What was it called?
Hypnotism for fun and profit. He looked at me as if I'd farted at a funeral.
The power of mesmerism is a rare gift, not a party trick.
Clearly.
You're not gonna try any of that psychic interrogation on me, are you?
Do you find the thought of my probing distasteful?
Let's just say I'd rather you didn't. I've got more doubts than doubting Thomas when it comes to mysticism.
Too bad. I think you would make an interesting subject under controlled regression.
The day I let anyone mess with my mind hasn't dawned yet. Do you know a pair of thugs called Flap and Guido?
I have known those two since they graduated from special school. Flap is a nasty piece of work, but Guido is the real brains of the partnership. Where did you hear of them?
I met them out front of the Hotel Ubu.
Oh, onto that.
Don't you want to know what I found out about the killer?
I told you, monsieur, the case is closed. I have washed my hands of the whole affair.
Then I'll have to continue my investigations without your help.
No, you must forget the business of the clown completely. Go back to being an ordinary tourist, Stobart.
Nah.
Ever heard of a guy called Marquet? Jacques Marquet?
Marquet? I know the name well. He has a record for suspected blackmail, kidnapping, arson, and art theft.
An all-rounder, huh? How come he's on the loose?
His bravado is matched only by the courtroom skills of his attorney.
Did you find out the ID of the guy who was killed in the explosion?
I already knew who he was.
I heard that the bomb victim's name was Plantar.
Your sources are reliable.
He was a big shot at the Treasury, wasn't he? Maybe that's why you've been taken off the case.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I cannot comment.
Have you heard of Professor Pegram, the archaeologist?
Molly Pegram, the second son of Lord Barclay Pegram.
I don't know. I only read about him in a magazine.
So much for the efficacy of rehabilitation. What has he done this time?
He made an important archaeological find in Ireland. Do you know Pegram well?
I have connections with the family, but I wouldn't say I knew him at all.
Is his name really Molly?
Of course not. That was the nickname he was given at school. All his friends and acquaintances know him as Molly.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No.
It's the face of a killer.
The man who bombed the cafe?
The photograph was taken soon after the explosion. He'd escaped through the sewers, leaving a trail of clues behind him.
Circumstantial evidence, Stobbard. None of it proves a thing.
Shake my hand.
Would you care to shake my hand, Inspector?
Please don't be offended if I decline your offer, Stobbard. The palms of my hands are particularly sensitive.
So long, Inspector.
Thanks for nothing, Inspector. We done November? Ja, B, dwi'n rhedeg 3 minutes ad, a wedyn ddau no, mae'n boeth bod check o ffenest. Dwi'n ôl. Iawn ta. Dwi angen mynd. Iawn, gallu just casual mynd i... Na, Oce. Berwgeri. Fan lle mae hi'n byw. Hospital. Hospital.
The old building managed to retain some of its original grandeur, but the modern additions look like a baseball cap on a statue of a medieval saint.
Oce. Beth yw hwnna?
I felt a little guilty as I tried the door, like I was about to rob a grave. I gripped the handle with an involuntary tremble in my hand and pulled. The door was locked.
Oce. Iawn, na ni. Doctor.
Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
Call me George if you like.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's my name.
My name's Benoit, but everyone calls me Benny.
Bunny?
That's right. I used to have this cute habit when I was a kid.
Keep it to yourself, Benoit. Do you know anything about a patient named Marquet?
And no, sir, I don't know much about any of the patients.
I've never met a doctor who admits that he's only human.
I'm only a trainee, sir. I'm sure I'll get the hang of things.
We got a min. When you stop putting of my head, very, very short. Half an hour.
See you later.
Right.
Sef yma. A na i picio fyny tro nesa. Right.